all of you viewers out there, pick up some philosophy, maybe a work of narrative history. Some Chaucer, very good idea. Slather on
What's bawdier than Chaucer?
Welcome to News Beast. Happy Friday. We've got Allison and Lucas in the house. It's a classic edition. I love it. Allison, you've got a story about the Mississippi abortion clinic, which has narrowly averted being shut down by judicial decree.
It has, that's right. So they've blocked the law. They're not shutting it down yet. And there are other states. We didn't really pay attention to this. The last few weeks have been really focused on Mississippi, but North Dakota, South Dakota, and Arkansas only have one surgical abortion clinic left too. So those states are watching, very closely to see what happens in Mississippi.
So there are two fronts here, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of state legislatures since 2010 with the Tea Partiers that there have been attempts to restrict abortion rights in those states legislatively. But this is sort of another end run, which is essentially virtual ban by scarcity. So are there any implications that states have to have one provider in order to be consistent with law, or is this a legitimate loophole that states can essentially opt out from abortion?
I don't think states can, not constitutionally, they certainly can't opt out from abortion. Roe v. Wade, 1973, a woman's right to an abortion.
But does Roe v. Wade require that every state have an abortion clinic?
Not that I know of, but I think that, if Mississippi women can't access an abortion clinic, then that places an undue burden on them. The next clinic in states nearby is, 200 miles away, and women with means will always be able to access this service. That's not a question. But poor women, rural women, that's who this affects predominantly. And I think that, perhaps this is a judge. We know this judge is very, he's not an ideologue. He was Republican appointed, but he hasn't really made clear whether or not he supports this, but I think constitutionally he'll side with the Constitution in this case and say that
yay, centrist
it should
judges.
stay open. Yeah.
Lucas, any thoughts on the subject?
No, it's just quite a shocking. I think it's amazing to think of sort of where we were 30 years ago, and that this is still such a sort of contested position.
It is. Well, they've successfully, the anti-choice movement has managed to put a lot of its folks in office, and so that's why this is happening.
I appreciate the anti-choice movement.
I think it's a better word.
Well, I think it cuts more to the heart of the issue. Again, good people could disagree on this issue. What's crazy is that we have actually achieved.
What's crazy is the crazies. That's
what's crazy is the crazies, and haters got to hate, and crazies got to be crazy. But that we actually have achieved a broad organic consensus on abortion around safe, legal, and rare. But the really hardcore activists on either side are full on at war, and they can hijack legislature.
And then the thing is, it's the middle folks who we really need to be talking about this. Those are the folks who need to, tell their legislators, this is how I feel about it, but we're really hearing the crazies and the haters.
We never hear from the middle, though, do we?
Damn it.
Where's the middle?
We're going to change it. We're going to plant that flag.
All right.
Lucas.
Yes, well,
the middle's reading 50 Shades of Grey.
The middle is reading 50 Shades of Grey.
So like 1/5 of all books sold in America right now are badly written mommy porn.
Both. Well, John, have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
Sadly, no. But you've told me it's badly written mommy porn. I'm selling you out right there.
That it is. But actually, I'd like to suggest that instead of encouraging more reading of 50 Shades of Grey, which I think everyone's already doing on their own, I want to propose a new summer reading goal here, which is the Brainy beach read. So we had a piece in Newsweek this past week about the Brainy beach read. So because when else do you have time to actually sit down and read something thoughtful, serious?
But you're sitting on the beach half naked.
Yeah, so would you rather read...
All the better.
Would you
time
rather
to read Philip Roth.
Exactly.
Yes, it's true.
John Updike.
Its own kind of porn.
The original daddy porn.
Yeah, daddy porn, exactly right. Go dust off Couples. Everyone who's reading 50 Shades of Grey should be reading Couples by John Updike.
Let's go back to the originals.
That's what we're talking about. And plus, it's alliterative, the Brainy beach read. Exactly. I like it. Yeah. TM, Lucas Wittmann.
Exactly. Calling it right here. So all of you viewers out there, pick up some philosophy, maybe, a work of narrative history. Some Chaucer, very good idea. Slather on
What's bawdier than Chaucer?
Exactly, yeah. Slather on the sunscreen and pick up Ulysses, because there's no dirtier book out there than Ulysses.
I got a question about 50 Shades of Grey. Is this just kind of the romance novel on steroids? Is this just the bodice ripper, or does it really go much further? And what is your characterization of the romance novel?
No, actually, I think that this is definitely a sexier, more explicit romance novel. The classic romance novel is a sort of kind of Indian chieftain riding across the American West, ripping off the petticoats of the white women.
white woman doesn't dream of her petticoat being ripped off.
Exactly. And middle-aged women all across America are that's what they want to read. This actually takes it a step further. There's some very explicit language and scenes in there, but certainly nothing that in America, where the porn industry is one of our largest, nothing that people haven't seen.
Better we read it
before.
and like actually read sentences than sort of stare at it on a screen and have it permeate that way.
And obviously for women, there's a certain they get something more from the reading than from the viewing.
And my theory is that this is the.
I think all men are reading it.
People can read. No, I think women can read because the ebook. No one knows what you're reading.
Right. You're sitting on the subway. You got the Kindle. No one knows that you're.
It's the digital brown paper back.
It's the red in the cheek that tells people.
All right. Final word, Allison.
I don't have one today.
Well, that's just lame. I'm sorry.
Bodice
that's not
ripper.
Acceptable. Bodice ripper. All right.
That's gonna be mine. Naughtier.
I'm gonna go chieftain. Happy Friday. We'll see you next week. For next week.
The 50 Shades special. I like that.
Yeah, really.